Hey everyone, Richard Metal Fan here, bringing you guys an old school album review, and I'm going to be reviewing one of my all-time favorite albums and one of my favorite albums in the thrash metal genre, and today is the album's 30th anniversary today. And as you can see below the title, we're going to be looking into Among the Living by Anthrax. And for this special occasion, I'm wearing my Anthrax Among the Living shirt that I got for Christmas a couple years ago. Now, everybody should probably know or at least heard of Anthrax. It's one of the influential and important bands in the thrash metal genre in the 1980s. These guys have been around for a little over 35 years, and they're part of the big four of thrash metal along with Metallica, Megadeth, and Slayer. And in my opinion, I think they're the most underrated band in the big four. Like, I don't think a whole lot of people talk about Anthrax, in my opinion. I think, like I said, in my opinion, I think they're the most underrated out of the big four. And this is, of course, the band's third album, follow up to their previous album, 1985's Strutting the Disease. And what could I say? And this is pretty much Anthrax's, a lot of people consider this their opus, their best album. I'm going to have to agree. It's pretty much my fourth favorite album of all time. Behind Megadeth's Rust in Peace, Metallica's Master of Puppets, Slayer's Rain and Blood, and Metallica's Master of Puppets. This is a really great album. Like, everything about it is perfect. Produced by Eddie Kramer with Anthrax. Because, of course, like, the production is solid and spot on, especially since this was released in 1987. Let's talk about the band members. Like, vocally, like, Joey Belladonna just sounds really great, and he still does to this day. His vocals sound really good on this album. The guitar-wise, and I mean, Scott Ian and Dan Spitz come up with some really great riffs, and Dan's solos are really great, and Scott comes up with some really great riffs. The bass playing from Frank Bello is pretty audible on this album. You can hear it a lot, as opposed to like other Anthrax albums. You can hear the bass a lot more in the mix. And drumming-wise, Charlie Benante, I think, is one of the most, in my opinion, I think he's the most underrated drummers in the thrash genre. I think his drumming shines a lot on this album. And I think he does a really great job with the drum work on this album. But yeah, without further ado, let's dive into this track by track. Now the album opens up with the title track, Among the Living, which starts off with a creepy acoustic lead intro. Then it goes into like a sludgy riff, and then the song just explodes. Makes you bang your head, and some really cool lyrics and a really awesome guitar solo in there. I love this song a lot, and I think it's a great way to start off this album. Then we go into Caught in the Mosh, which is one of Anthrax's well-known songs. Opens with a very mid-paced riffs. Then it just goes into a little bass line from Frank, and then it just beckons some thrash in there. Just really catchy song, and I really love the pre-chorus. Ain't gonna have a day, ain't gonna live my life this way. Sort of like gets the crowd pumping, and I love this song. I Am the Law, which is kind of where it's kind of slows down a little bit. It's slow, but a heavy song, and I really love the fun main riff in there. And then we go into En Eflenikuffessen, probably butchered that, NFL, which backwards, it's Nice Fucking Life, which is a very perky thrasher I really love with a little bit of a melodic hook in there. I really like this song. And then we go to A Skeleton in the Closet, which has a really catchy vocal hook from Joey, especially in like the chorus of the song, and just some really thrashing rhythms and some really good bass flair in there. And then we go into similar to Caught in the Mosh, another one of Anthrax's well-known songs, Indians, which kind of has a little bit of an Iron Maiden-esque intro riff in it. I really love the break in there when Joey Belladonna yells "War Dance," and this is just a mosh-worthy song. And I could definitely hear a lot of the Maiden influence in this song, especially like in the guitars. And Joey Belladonna almost sounds like Bruce Dickinson a little bit in this song, which is kind of scary, but that's just me. One World, really catchy song. I like that a lot. ADI horror of it all, which in my opinion is the most underrated song in the Anthrax catalog. Has a very beautiful acoustic intro, and then sort of fades and goes into a really sludgy riff. It's very mid-paced with a very catchy vocal line. And then this is the longest song on this album, which is almost less than 8 minutes long, which is kind of nuts. But it's a good song, and I think, like I said, I think this is a another one of Anthrax's most underrated songs in their catalog. And then the album closes with Imitation of Life, which is a very mid-paced number, and I feel like it closes in a strong way, and it like speeds up in some parts, but it's a really good song, and I think it's a good way and a strong way to end this album. Now overall, Among the Living by Anthrax is a really great album. Their best album, I think this is their opus. So yeah, if I were to give this album a score, and you probably guessed it by now, I give this a solid 10 out of 10. It's a perfect album. Like if you're a fan of thrash metal and if you haven't heard this yet, what the fuck are you doing with your life? Go listen to this album. So yeah, that's my review of Among the Living, guys, for 30th anniversary. I'm also planning on probably seeing Anthrax on April 12th with Killswitch Engage and Devil Wears Prada, which is a weird bill, but I would go anyway. And I really wish they would play this album in its entirety because that would be fucking awesome. So yeah, that's my review of Among the Living, guys. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you all in the next video, and keep it metal.